Yes. Kranti Metri. Kranti Metri.
Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, in today's class, I want to recollect previous points. So, on the basis of that, okay, I need to explain further more points to this third unit. So, Kranti, now tell me, what the exact gap 2 is? Come in video mode. Kranti,
Hello, sir.
yeah, tell me what is it exactly gap 2 is?
So,
Explained in the first class itself, gap model of service marketing. It includes all four models. It includes all four gaps. So what is that exactly the gap 2 is? Yes, Kranti,
don't know, sir. Don't know, sir.
Pradeep Gauri, Pradeep Gauri, yes, Meghna, Meghna Jakati,
Yes, sir.
Meghna Jakati, Jaswina, Jaswina, Meghna. Yes. See, I already mentioned to the class that is gap 1 is between expected service and company perceptions of consumer expectations. Whatever the gap is there in between these two, that is considered as the gap 1. Whether the gap 2 is a service delivery by the company and the customer driven services designs and standards. Whatever the gap is there in between these 2 points, that is coming under the gap 2. In gap 3, whatever the customer design, service design and standards are there, whatever you are giving that, whatever you are maintaining that quality or designs or standards, and company perception of consumer expectations, that is coming under the gap 3. And gap 4 is in between service delivery and external communications to customers, means how you are going to maintain that relationship by communicating with them. That is coming under the gap 4 of this service quality or gap model of service quality. So on the basis of this model only, okay, whole those gap 1, gap 2, gap 3 and gap 4 models are dependent. So my dear students, this is very important for your exam point of view, means you need to know about what is that exactly gap 1, gap 2, gap 3 and gap 4. So I already mentioned to the class that is there are two major types of that is service standards are there. One is hard measures and one more is soft measures. Okay, hard measures are hard standards often involves any counts or timed actions of how many, how accurately, how quickly you are going to give such a kind of particular service to the end user with respect to the time. Okay, if you are going to take any particular expected services by the customers, how you are going to reach that particular services within the right time, that is coming under this hard measures. Means we should put effort, and we have to as an service marketing, we have to take care about the what is the exact services needed to the end users. Means you need to work hard and put that effort and you give that particular service in the time with respect to the time. Suppose take an example again, correct order delivered to the customer or right on time. I mentioned already. The doctors gives the patient scheduled appointment time, and dry cleaners cleans the customer's clothing by the promised date. Okay, whatever there is the exact date or timing you are going to promise to the end users, with but that particular date or time only you need to give that better services to the end user. That's coming into the hard measures. But to the soft measures, by taking such a kind of particular such a kind of hard measures, okay, between both the uh, service provider and the end users. As an end user, how they are going to feel about that particular any satisfaction or not satisfied, depend on the standards. Okay, that is called as soft measures. Soft standards are areas that are more difficult to measure objectively and agree a standard. Soft standards are developed in response to customers who invariably ask themselves, they're going to ask themselves, like, was I involved, informed, and consulted? Like such kind of questions they're going to ask themselves. Did I like how I was treated? And in what way was I made to feel? Okay, so on the basis of that, how they are going to ask themselves and how they are going to feel about the services provided by the service company. So how they are going to start to think about the service company. Okay, so that is coming into the soft measures. Okay, then next one is, what are the factors necessary for appropriate service standards? Okay, there are some factors are there. Those are very necessary for appropriate service standards for the purpose to maintain any service quality to the end users, for the purpose to maintain such a kind of loyalty to the company. Okay, what are the factors those are necessary? First one is that is standardization of service behaviors and actions. That behaviors and actions related to the services, that is very important, and they need to maintain such a kind of relationships to the end user. Formal service targets and goals, whatever service targets and goals are there with respect to that. Okay, it depend on this particular fact only. Okay, that particular service company, we can analyze that standardity or quality of the that particular company. Customer not common defined in standards. So okay, depend on the what kind of particular company they are implementing, what kind of standardity, depend on that only the loyalty of the end user is dependent. Then next point is that is process for setting customer defined standards. No doubt there are n number of standards are there for the purpose to maintain such a kind of services to the end users services. So for the purpose to maintain such a kind of same particular quality and standardity to the end users, what are the processes or what are the steps or what are the stages those are there? Those are coming under the process for setting customer defined standards. So on the basis of the customer need, okay, or what kind of quality, what kind of standardity they are asking, so depend on that we need to set that particular services to the end user. That is, we need to identify first step, that is existing or desired service encounter sequence. What is the encounter sequence is there? Okay, now and before and after also we need to think about the service. Then second one, translate customer expectations into behaviors and actions, whatever expectations are there. Okay, meanwhile you need to maintain that behavior and give such a kind of actions to their particular end users. Okay, by giving such a kind of quality of services to the end user. Select behaviors and actions for standards for the purpose to implement good quality or standards in your life. Okay, in your organization. Okay, you need to change that behavior patterns to your employees as well as to the higher that authority also. So that will really impact on to become again more loyalty to your company. So again, if there is any errors are there as an particular service marketing manager, you need to concentrate on that and you need to take proper decisions at the right time for the purpose to give standard quality of particular services to the end user. So set an hard and soft standards. So what are the particular hard when you want to give? Okay, at what time you want to give? Okay, what kind of quality of your particular services you are giving? What are the features you are adding? Okay, as compared to your competitors, what is the particular strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are there with you? And on the basis of these all parameters, okay, how you are giving such a kind of particular quality of services to end users, and what are the particular weaknesses are there? You need to identify first, and you need to give that particular proper service to the end users with respect to the time and date that is coming into the hard. So on the basis of this, as an end user, they are going to take such a kind of particular themselves, they are going to ask, they are going to identify themselves whether they are satisfied or no about the service quality that is coming into the soft standards. So here, hards are measured by audits or any operating data. Okay, and then means there should be a record. So on the basis of those records, as in particular auditors, they need to check when you did particular services, when you are giving such kind of services, everything they will check. And soft measures are like how they are feeling about the services, whether they are happy or unhappy, whether the service quality is good or no. Already in Amazon and Flipkart, maybe in any Mintra.com. Take an example. If you buy any particular product from the any Mintra or Amazon or any Flipkart, take an example. At the end, they will ask you some feedback. So on the basis of that, okay, soft measures are, it tells about the intention of that particular customers, how they what are their intentions related to the particular service company, and whether they are satisfied, or for the purpose to analyze that as a particular sales executive and HR manager, they are going to collect such a kind of feedback from the end users by taking that as an initiation, by distributing such a kind of questionnaires to the end users, and by survey they will collect such a kind of information, and they are going to develop such a kind of particular feedback mechanisms. Okay, when there is a good feedback is there, no doubt they are going to again motivate to the employee. When there is a again any errors in the feedback by the end users, they try to give training to the sales executives as well as to the service employees also. So these all whatever I mentioned, hard and soft, these all are measured to again motivate to the all particular employees to establish measures and target levels. So on the basis of that, they are going to increase the target levels also. They are going to measure the all these parameters. So next point is they are going to track the measures against the standards for the purpose to maintain such a kind of standardity in the particular service sector, for the purpose to maintain relationship, for the purpose to maintain that quality of that service. They are going to track and they're going to measure that what kind of service qualities are there, standardities are there, behaviors are there, what kind of actions they're taking, everything they are going to measure. Then if there is any changes is required, means you need to update target levels and again measures again. If there is no anything, if your service that organization is running smoothly, no need to go for that any changes. Only the thing is you need to again follow the steps, and you need to take some particular actions related to the service sector. So these are the major points. Those all are coming under the process for setting customer defined standards. So it is very important for our exam point of view. They will ask you 10-mark question. Very, very important. They'll ask like this: explain in detail the process for setting customer defined standards. Okay. So on the basis of this, okay, first, second, third, fourth, what I mentioned, those points, you need to mention what are the hard particular standards and soft standards. So on the basis of that, develop that feedback mechanism up to eighth point. You need to mention to the exam. Very, very important. Then coming to next point, that is what are the challenges of matching supply and demand. I already mentioned to the class, but again I am recollecting those all points to the class. So why that supply and demand is needed? Okay, if there is a demand to the any product, take an example, supply is also required by taking an advantage of that distributors, maybe any channels or suppliers, okay, any agents or wholesaler or retailer or any person. So when there is a supply is there, there should be a demand. When there is a demand is there, again there is a supply. So these all are total depend on the company, the product, the price, the features, okay, the durability, okay. It's depend on anything. Okay, what kind of product you are going to buy, so depend on that. Okay, depend on the customer's expectations, depend on the that feedback mechanism. Okay, so depend on those all points, supply and demand in capacity is dependent. So here major challenges to the matching supply and demand in capacity is most services are perishable, already. Then maximum capacity of some service system has no flexibility. Demand for many services is more difficult to predict. Okay, what kind of particular demand is there to the any services, that is very difficult to predict and analyze. Variability in service time. Okay, it is going to vary from one service to another service. It will take more time, sometimes it will take less time. Okay, some people they will take very more time to give such a kind of particular services. So these are the major particular challenges, and most services are location bound. So depend on what kind of particular times you are taking, where is that particular location, then what kind of particular demand is there to the services. Okay, then what kind of capacity is there, then whether that is perishable or non-perishable. So depend on these all points. Okay, these are the major challenges of matching supply and demand in capacity. Then how to manage that demand? See, if there is any demand is there to your product in the market, take an example. As an service marketing manager, how you are going to manage the same demand in the market? Okay, the demand in the sense customer loyalty, the quality of product, the price as compared to your competitors, the features as compared to your competitors, product durability, okay, the content, okay, everything it includes. So for the purpose to manage same thing, okay, what I mentioned just before, so those all you need to maintain properly. That's what demand is, the amount of particular economic good or service that a consumer or group of consumer will want to purchase at a given particular price. Okay, services are perishable, hence the demand becomes critical. Proper strategy implementation is very important in demand management to the services. See, for a purpose to maintain any particular demand to the particular any product or any your company. Take an example. Okay, here price plays a very important role. You have to maintain that price first, then features, then product should be very good, means the quality, then quantity, okay, everything, then only you can manage that demand, and end users becomes loyal to a particular product. Then what are the demand patterns are there? I mentioned already, that is sketching demand patterns. Okay, in that sketching demand patterns means you need to analyze, you need to sketch that what are the demand is there to the your product by analyzing by your competitors. An organization has to track and sketch the demand level for its services at specific time periods. Okay, when you are going to sell your particular product, and when for your product there is a demand, at what particular time period there is a more demand, and as compared to other your competitors, okay, where your particular product is, and how much you are getting that revenue, how many units of production you sold already, okay, then after that what kind of particular features are there with you. So you need to sketch that properly. Okay, that is, this can be done with the ease and accuracy if an organization maintains a customer database and a record of varying demand levels over a period of time. So it is possible. That's depend on the, if you are suppose if you are going to maintain such a kind of any end users database, maybe with their email, maybe contact number, their name, everything like that. So again, you can give that particular what kind of particular services you're going to give better to the end users. So you have to maintain that all the means, as a service marketing manager, you need to track such a kind of particular end users information. So on the basis of that, okay, a record of varying demand levels over a period of time, companies should track the demand levels regularly, like daily, weekly, and monthly. The demand level for some services are vary seasonally. Therefore, companies should gather and record information on a periodic basis to predict the future at demand levels. What is the exact present that demand is there, for the purpose to maintain what kind of particular demand is there, weekly, hourly, okay, daily, monthly, or yearly. You need to maintain that particular data to, and that data should be reached to your end users. Then only you can maintain that kind of a particular relation with you, and I can enhance your particular product demand in the market. So what is the example to for such a kind of any particular sketching demand patterns? Okay, one is tracking demand for a fast food caters services on hourly basis might be useful to understanding the demand to the customers. For a purpose to analyze the demand to the customers, especially in the catering of that in fast food, you need to give that hourly basis what kind of particular feedback is there, and you need to ask them what is the quality of product. You need to collect that feedback from the end users. Then you can maintain that by purpose to maintain that demand patterns in your organization. Then second one is that is foreseeable cycles. That is, after capturing the data on demand levels in the form of charts, okay, an organization should and observe the charts for predictable demand patterns for the purpose to analyze future particular demands. Okay, you need to go for that any charts related to the any graphs or any demand levels in the form of charts, and observation. What is your observation towards those particular feedback given by the end users, and what kind of particular inferences you are writing. So on the basis of that, okay, you need to check that for civil cycles. Okay, example, the crowd at the theme parks movie halls and restaurants would be large during the weekends. Means whenever there is a all people they are free, they will come to the movie hall or maybe any theme parks or any restaurants. So in that particular time only, you need to set a particular uh, services very innovatively for the purpose to attract uh, and deploy employees. So, similarly, employees tend to invest more in various financial services when it is time to file their tax returns, and as a result, the demand for services increases during that period. So, depend on the season, depend on the festivals, depend on the holidays. Okay, need to attract all the end users, so that will enhances your particular service sector. So in that particular time only you will get more profit, and for the purpose to maintain that everything, you need to maintain that that is tax whatever returns are there, you need to file that, and it enhances again your services. Okay, then third one is random demand variations. There is no doubt. Okay, there is a randomly there is a changes or variations in the demand of your particular services. There is no any constant. There is a demand. Okay, so on the basis of that particular patterns, that will show the predictable cycles, whereas others are random or ad hoc in nature. However, causes the associated with these demand patterns can be identified most of the times. The next one is that is demand patterns by market segment. That is an organization that maintains a comprehensive customer database, no doubt. Any organization, they need to maintain what kind of their customers are, and they need to maintain whole their data, which includes all the transactions with each customer in detailed manner, is at an advantage as deemed patterns exhibited by each segment can be easily identified. This type of database will give in-depth information about the stable of random demand patterns shown by various segments. Whatever the segments I already discussed to the class. So depend on that, okay, you need to maintain that demand patterns by the market segmentation. Then what are the factors those are influencing demand? Very, very important. If there is a demand for your particular product, take an example, you need to go through these points. If there is no demand at all, again you need to work on this contraction and recession, and how that is contract, and there is a recession in the particular your particular service, you need to work on that, and you need to again influence on that particular demand of the particular product, expand your particular product. Technological developments are also important. Demographics, you need to study on that, and natural and other disasters also you need to study. So then only you can uh, uh, maintain that demand on the basis of these all particular factors. These all are going to influence to maintain demand for your particular services. Then what are the major four common types of constraints facing the services? One is time constraint, second one is labor constraint, then equipment constraint, and then facilities constraint. I already discussed in the class, no need to discuss now. Then I already discussed this also, but I am recollecting this. Why? Because these all are very important for our exam point of view, that is optimum versus maximum use of capacity. Using capacity at an optimum level means that your resources are fully employed but not overused, and that customers are receiving quality service in a timely manner. See, optimum is, see, whatever the resources are there, okay, you are fully employed, but you are not going to take a use of that full. But the customers are happy about that by taking the second of service quality in a time manner. So maximum capacity, on the other hand, represents the absolute, okay, limit of service availability. Then capacity planning mentioned already. So on what particular basis you are going to maintain that capacity of your particular service sector? So that is depend on the what kind of machines are there and how many workers are there into number of shifts. Maybe 8 hour one shift, maybe there are 3 shifts in a day. Okay, then from on the basis of that number of shifts into number of machines or workers, then how much you are going to utilize that in the form of total bulk product, and efficiency, how much they put that efficiency, that is in the form of units. So on the basis of that we can analyze that capacity planning. Then what are those types of capacity planning? Very, very important for your exam point of view. 3 marks they will ask either lead strategy or lag strategy? They will ask like this, what do you mean by lead strategy? Or otherwise they will ask like this, what is lag strategy is? So here, lead strategy, it is the adding capacity in anticipation of an increase in demand. Okay, lead strategy is an aggressive strategy, no doubt, very important. Okay, for the purpose to lead, what are the strategies you are going to implement? It is a very aggressive strategy. Okay, very important. Okay, with the goal of luring customers away from the company's competitors. Okay, the possible disadvantage to this strategy is that it often results in excess inventory, which is costly and often wasteful. So on the basis of this, what I mentioned, it is a very aggressive strategy you have to take. And on the basis of that, okay, you need to analyze the customers. So you need to keep the same customers to the company as compared to your competitors. So for the purpose to lead your particular organization, okay, what are the advantages are there, what are the disadvantages are there, you need to study, and you need to put this particular strategy to your organization. Then lag strategy is, it refers to adding capacity only after the organization is running full capacity or beyond due to increase in demand, no doubt. Because when there is a more demand is there, okay, as per according to what you thought, like that you are not going to get such a kind of any revenue for your organization by that particular service. So maybe sometimes if you are in lag, again you are going to work on that particular strategy coming into this lag strategy. This is a more conservative strategy, no doubt. It decreases the risk of waste, but it may result on the loss of possible customers. So these are the major differences between lead strategy and lag strategy. And match strategy is very common. Okay, or what you are going to match along with you and your other competitors, what is the demand is there for your market, and what is that if that this is a more moderately strategy you are going to implement, or what everything you need to work on that. It is adding capacity in small amounts in response to changing demand in the market. This is more moderate strategy, no doubt. Then what are the steps? Those are coming under the capacity planning for the purpose to produce any more particular units of products. Okay, so for the purpose to sell any particular products of units within that time, within that date, within that particular time being. Okay, what are the steps? Those are coming under that. First, you need to determine service level requirements for the purpose to give that kind of particular services. What are the requirements are there? Okay, which service level you are already chosen. Okay, need to work on that. Then analyze current capacity. What is the current capacity you are using? What are the total number of productions you are manufacturing in the form of units? How many units of products you are selling day by day? Okay, what are the particular services transactions are there between you and your customers? You need to analyze that. Then on the basis of these two, you need to plan properly with respect to the capacity of your organization. So these are the steps. Then what are the strategies for matching capacity and demand? For the purpose to match that particular capacity and demand. If there is a more demand is there for your product, suppose take an example, you need to analyze that capacity of the organization. Okay, if there is a more products are there, right? Units of productions are good. Okay, capacity is good by the company. Okay, by the manpower, by the that machines. Take an example, then there is a, again increase in the demand by maintaining such a kind of particular strategy, by giving such a kind of services in the time or daily basis. So there is a proper communication is needed. That is what measure proper strategy, what you are going to match between the capacity and demand for your product. Advertising and sales promotion is also required. You need to give ads in the form of any our sales promotions with respect to, take an example, news, newspapers, magazines, radio, TV. Okay, anything. Okay, so what particular promotional strategies you are going to implement to sell your more products? Okay, you need to analyze that, and you need to uh, plan on that. Okay, there is a second strategy, service variations. Why there is a more variations? When there is a more variation, okay, who is your competitor? Okay, you need to analyze those all and modify the timing and location of service delivery. Okay, if there is no any proper particular service delivery is there in the time. Okay, you need to modify that particular service delivery and time with respect to your particular location. And on the basis of that, you need to recruit sales executives, okay, for the purpose of that services to the end user, okay. So you need to give that target to the sales executives also, for the purpose to maintain your that demand, maintain that demand and capacity in the time by adjusting prices with your competitors, okay. This is also one of the major strategy. You need to put a proper pricing as compared to your competitors. Adjust that pricing if your prices is more, okay, you need to do that less. And the thing is not less means there is no any compromise related to the quality, what I'm telling. But the thing is, you need to work on that, okay. What are the strengths are there and what are the weaknesses are there, you need to follow. And on the basis of that, you need to work and adjust with the pricing of your product. Develop complementary services. Like, what are the complementary services are there basically offered to occupy waiting customers for the purpose to maintain your existing particular customers, okay. uh, what are the waiting customers are there, okay, you need to develop that complementary services. Then again, promoting off paid and whatever the peak demand is there, okay, in that particular peak demand, you need to work with your all workers, so it becomes very easy for you to analyze and work again. 1 minute, I will take your attendance. Okay, uh, now I want to continue again. What are the points are there? Those are, what are the waiting line management? Okay, I already mentioned in my previous slide, that is here, developing complementary services for a purpose to maintain any waiting customers in your particular uh, organizations. Or take an example, if you are working in any banking sector, take an example, okay. For the purpose to maintain your particular customers or in waiting line, what are the strategies you are going to implement, okay. Those are coming in this waiting line management introduction. The meaning of that waiting line strategies are, or waiting line management is, the waiting line or queue management is called, is a critical part of service industry. So for the purpose to maintain any end users, for the purpose to maintain that happiness of that end users, for the purpose to maintain, okay, their cognitivity towards that service sector, okay, especially in this queue management, it becomes very difficult. Some people, they are hurry to go for their any businesses, okay. Some people are maybe by some diseases, but again they are in the same queue for the purpose to maintain, okay, their particular in queue, okay. As a service marketing manager, how they are going to manage that, what are the strategies they are going to implement, okay. You need to identify what kind of customers are there, okay. There are some, again, some aged end users are also there, right. So for the purpose to maintain those aged people, okay, how we are going to manage that, okay. So there are a number of varieties of customers are there, okay. For the purpose to satisfy all those particular end users, what are the uh, strategies you are going to implement in waiting line or in queue? It is very difficult, my dear friends. So queue management deals with cases where the customer arrival is random, therefore service rendered to them is also random, no doubt. But the thing is, you need to satisfy them by giving proper services within the time, okay. So without, again, discriminating, like, yeah, he is my friend, he is my family member, he is my relative, there is no anything in the services, okay. If anybody is in the queue, So on the basis of that particular number, okay, you need to give better services to the end user. You need to maintain that proper manner. A service organization can reduce cost and thus improve profitability by efficient queue management. A cost is associated with customer waiting in line, and there is cost associated with adding new counters to reduce service time also. For the purpose to reduce any conflicts or disputes among the uh, people between service providers and the queue, okay, need to, as a service marketing manager, you need to add one more new extra counter. uh, Queue management looks to address this trade-off and offer solutions to the management. Okay, as an particular service marketing manager, you need to discuss with the management people and need to take proper decision with related to this queue management. Then what are the waiting line problems? There are plenty of problems are there. Like those are waiting in line is common phenomenon in daily life. For example, banks have customers in line to get service of teller. Cars queue up for refilling. Then workers line up to access machine to complete their job. Therefore, management needs to work on formulae which will reduce wait time and create delighted customers without incurring an additional cost. So generally, queue management problems are trade-offs situation between cost of time spent in waiting versus cost of additional capacity or machinery. Okay, these all are very important. Okay, as a service marketing manager, future coming service marketing manager, how you are going to manage that particular waiting lines or queue management. That is very important. You need to learn that. And if there is a more rush, take an example. Okay, you need to give them uh, additional counter for the purpose to uh, give solution in the time. Then what are the strategies you need to follow as a service marketing manager? That is, first one is employing operational logic. Okay, how to operate those particular all employees. Okay, and how to maintain that all the queue people. Okay, there are some logics are there. Okay, that's depend on the communication without taking any rational decisions. Okay, without any conflict between waiting line customers and you people. Okay, you need to maintain that logic, you need to communicate them, and you need to maintain that relation, you need to maintain those eye expressions, give smile, and these are the particular strategies. And reservation systems are also there. One who are aged people, even for them, you need to maintain for the purpose to aged people. Okay, so there are some reservations. Okay, one who are the before they reserved like that. Okay, for them you need to give that such a kind of particular systems. Then differentiate waiting customers. Okay, likewise, what I mentioned, differentiate waiting customers are one who are aged one who are younger one. Okay, so depend on that, you need to differentiate one who are in hurry. For them, you need to again give or send them to the next particular table. Otherwise, you need to give them first particular option like that. So how you are going to differentiate the waiting customers like that for the purpose to satisfy all the customers, need to put some plans and make waiting a fun or at least tolerable. So on the basis of this all, okay, you even you can add some more points as per according to your knowledge also. So but those are very important for each and every service strategy. And for a purpose to maintain that queue line, okay, in queue line management, you need to properly put some strategies. Then next point is that is there, that is in the form of yield or revenue management, no doubt. Yield management is a variable pricing strategy based on understanding, anticipating, and influencing consumer behavior in order to maximize revenue or profits from a fixed time limited resource such as airline seats or hotel room reservations or advertising inventory. As a specific inventory focused branch of revenue management, yield management involves strategic control of inventory to sell the right product to the right customer at the right time for the right price. So this process can result in price discrimination in which customers consuming identical goods or services are charged different that is priorities. So yield management is also very important. So how much you are going to get that revenue, whether